Welcome back, guys. This is Anime Degens episode 8. I'm here with my main men, Tyler and Dan, and we're excited to get you guys another banger episode. What we'll be covering this episode will be some of our recommended starter anime. I'm very, very excited about that, and I'm sure you guys will be able to use that for some of your friends and family. After that, we'll be going into our weekly rundown with My Hero Academia episode 138, Buddy Daddies 11, and One Piece episode 1055. After that, we'll be closing out with reviewing one of the classics, Spirited Away. This movie's been out for about 20 years, but I just got the chance to watch it, and I'm excited to talk to you guys about this. Tyler, did you see that announcement at Anime Japan?
Yeah, they made several announcements, but one of the ones I was most excited for was season 3 of ReZero was confirmed.
Let's
Um,
go.
there's no release date yet. I'm sure that'll come soon at another event. I'm hoping for maybe a early next year release date. So, um, if you want to keep up to date with this type of stuff as well, you can follow our Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. So,
Yeah, that's really exciting. And I know we had been waiting a while for an official announcement, and we had talked about getting one soon here on the last couple of episodes, so that's good to see.
yeah.
We also have another one. Spy Family season 2 is coming out in October. I personally thought what they had been releasing was season 2, but was incorrect about that. So season 2 is actually coming in October.
Same. This is season 3.
Yes, this one's season 3 to me. And then we have a new movie, Spy Family Code White, coming out in December. I'm excited to get some more Anya in my life, man. Our best girl.
I'm curious what Code White could be.
I think it's meant for the dog, bro.
I was going to say the dog's white, right? Awesome. We got 2 other shows coming out in new seasons in July that I know some of us are very excited for. We got Jujutsu Kaisen season number 2 coming out, as well as Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation. So those are 2 really popular shows, and excited for July. We got a lot of really good shows coming out, including Bleach and those. So I'm really excited for July.
Yes, I have a lot of Bleach to catch up on. I think I'm only on episode 128, so I'm gonna be
You're cruising, dude.
I'm gonna be booking it to finish that.
You're hitting peak. Don't worry,
dude. I have been. I didn't start off liking it too much, but it's been growing on me here lately.
And don't forget, also in July, I think we got Kenshin coming up.
We do.
That is right, man.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to really figure out the weekly rundown, or do bi-weekly rundowns, and do 8 shows at that point.
I think so. There's just so much good things coming out. We're really gonna be eating this summer.
Maybe
dogs got to eat, baby.
Yes,
maybe
sir.
we'll just have to pick and choose which ones to do each week. Which one's got the best shit to cover. I don't know.
That is true. I could deal with that. But I know JJK is gonna be all up in that mug. It's gonna be so exciting.
Oh, for sure, dude. We're getting a flashback arc after a prequel after the original arc, so it makes a lot of sense,
Yeah, but they're definitely doing it chronologically. Very, very confusing to me.
Awesome. Well, let's get right into it. So we're going to start the show we're going to recommend some starter animes. I know that some of you guys have been watching for a long time. Some of you guys are newer to the genre, listening because, we're your homies and we appreciate that. So we figured to give you a little taste of what to jump into. So Tyler, you want to lead us off with what you would recommend for a first-time anime watcher?
Yeah, so I actually got I wanted to really recommend Naruto. It's such a great show, but I really wouldn't recommend watching that unless you know that they like anime or are gonna like anime, because it is longer, 720 episodes, I think. But you can obviously skip the filler or whatever. If they watch Avatar: The Last Airbender or something like that, then and they enjoyed it, then I would definitely recommend checking out Naruto next for the anime side of things. But I'm gonna keep it shorter though. Now, this is for the new people that's never seen it before, that might have an interest in it, but you don't know if they're going to make it through a whole 700 episodes. So I'm going to go with Mob Psycho 100.
Gas.
I don't know if Bass has seen it yet, but I know
haven't,
Dan has.
man. I was gonna stay quiet, but you had to do me out like that. So yeah, tell us a little bit about it, man.
Yeah, so it has 3 seasons. 37 total episodes, and it's finished already, unfortunately.
My
So,
favorite words.
Yeah. Well, not mine. I wanted to see it go, longer. But, anyways, it's totally doable for a new person watching anime. Um, you have you got Mob Coon, up in here, and
Mubba.
yeah, Maba. He's kind of like the awkward, kind-hearted, main character, and most people's kind of relatable, can relate to him at one point in their lives. Then you have like Reagan, who is a very funny, one of the, most funny, most hilarious characters, I think, in anime, honestly. Um, he's also the MC, and he's the sensei to Mob as well. I feel like this show does like a good job at including a lot of the side characters as well into the overall plot of the show. They're like heavily involved in Mob and Reagan's personal growth as well. Um, one of the things I like about it is the power system like isn't very confusing. It's kind of simple. Like everyone kind of understands it from the get go as well because it's all about psychic powers. Who doesn't know about psychic powers already? It's pretty simple to understand. Um, so the animation is kind of unique as well to it. If you see this show, you see like One Punch Man, which is made by the same dude. You'll also know that they both look alike, and like it is unique, but it doesn't look bad. So it's really good animation. Some of the best fight scenes happen in this show, in my opinion, in anime as a whole. But like it's just so good. Like I think I have it rated. I think I have it rated as one of my top 10 shows, honestly.
Oh wow.
So, um, but it kind of gives you like a little bit of taste of all the genres as well. It gives you like your action, which I said was had some top tier scenes in it. It gives you like the slice of life kind of vibe going on too with your daily day to day life of Mob and Reagan. It gives you your drama and stuff as well with that, and it also throws in a little bit of romance with Mob as well. So, and like I said, it's funny. It's hilarious. It's one
I
of
like.
the yeah.
I was gonna say I like how we're calling this romance because it's just Mob being Mob.
Yeah, well, like I said, Mob's just trying to do his best, bro.
Cool.
Mob's just trying to do his best. But yeah, like it's got a little bit of dark moments in it. Uh, but for the most part, it's about Mob just trying to like stay normal and not use his powers for everyday life, even though he's pretty OP. So, um, but yeah, that's one of my favorite animes. It's short, it's very good. It's got some good fight scenes. Get a little bit of everything. Like I said, Dan would vouch for it. And that's basically all I got. I'm pretty sure that you could convert someone to being a weeb by watching this 37 episodes.
Yeah, one of the things that Mob Psycho does fantastically is it's like it balances action and comedy
Yeah.
so well because it's like the guy is so overpowered, but he's just a total like dweeb. And
That's fun.
you can kind of see it come out when he does go to full 100% power. He is like he could I'm not gonna say he could beat Goku, but like he's up there. He is like world destroying level of power, and just some super awkward
Really?
like high schooler kid. Yeah,
Well, we're just talking about 100%.
Yeah.
There's also, something that goes above that you see as well, and that goes hard, bro.
Oh,
let's
120%.
be
Question
honest.
marks.
I was to say it's an anime. Like when do you only ever stop at 100%?
You can lose a fight if you do that.
We always got to surpass our limits. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So I'll go ahead and go next. Thank you for that, Tyler. I might have to actually check out Mob Psycho.
Definitely
I wish
recommend.
you would, bro.
Cool. I'll watch a few episodes and get back to y'all on that. My pick for a good starter anime is Jujutsu Kaisen. This has been animated by Mappa, one of our big anime studios. Some things that I think are easy for a first time watcher of anime. Just right off the bat, there is actually a few very strong women characters. I know that can be a problem for some people just getting into anime. Sometimes they make tropes out of the women, or they don't write them well. Talking to you, Naruto, but but the main character himself is very a kind-hearted person. He's just a normal guy. Starts off that way, and he's actually very relatable. He likes to protect people around them and help them. Um, the characters are three-dimensional. They don't always make the same jokes. They have their own backstories, which I think is always very good. And probably my favorite thing outside of the fight scenes for this show is the power system. It's very, very well defined. It's not confusing at all. It does start to get complicated, but it is not confusing, which I think is good. They don't tell you everything right off the bat. So it's cool to learn alongside our main cast, and explore new types of techniques and different levels of ability. And for one thing, this actually came out in 2020 with Mappa making it. The animation is top tier. The choreography of the fights, absolutely excellent. And like I said, it's not too heavy on fan service. I think that's one of the main things. I know sometimes when I look at things with a ton of fan service where it's a little bit over the top, even being a big fan of anime myself, I can cringe. So that's one thing I did like about this. And it also introduces you to some tropes, like, their version of the beach episode where they instead play basketball. So they do still give you those tropes to where you can get introduced to the genre and kind of know what's going on without it being super cringy. Another good thing is this right now, it only has 24 episodes out and a movie. So it's a fairly quick watch. If somebody's really not super into anime, that might take them a month or two, if they're just watching one episode here and there. And something that might seal the deal is episode 2, like we just talked about, is coming soon. So they'll get excited for it. They'll have a movie to watch, and then they'll have some new episodes coming out. And maybe even while they're waiting on that new episode, if they get into it right away, they'll go back to you and ask you for some more things to watch, because this is a banger. This is a banger. I think everybody, these other two guys sitting here, really like this anime as well. It's depending on how it continues and finishes, it'll make it into my top 10, but it is absolute fire right now.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen anybody who's watched Jujutsu Kaisen not like it. Like, it is really good quality anime. And season 2 is coming soon, not episode 2.
Did I say episode 2?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Multiple times.
But yeah, man. And then, like, people that have read the manga said if they just follow the manga in season 2, it's going to be absolutely banging. So I got high hopes for it. Yes, sir. So with the movie and everything, the timeline can get a little confusing, but it's not that bad. It's not that bad. So it's worked for 2 people for me already. I have 2 friends that recently got into anime in the last year and a half. I've introduced them to Jujutsu Kaisen. I said, hey, watch this. This shit is gas. And they have actually started watching more and more shows. So that's why I actually recommended it. You got anything, Dan?
Yeah. So I was between a few shows trying to figure this out at first. The first one I was thinking was Death Note, because in America, psychological thrillers are just top notch. Like, I don't know any
I almost picked that one too, man.
person who doesn't love a good detective versus bad guy show, and it is fantastic for that. And I was also kind of thinking Hunter x Hunter for a while, but that's pretty complex. And
yeah.
You gotta kind of it's a little deep, and if you're not really paying attention, it's gonna go right over your head. So I ended up picking one of my favorite shows, and a show that is considered one of the greatest animes of all time, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. So I've watched this multiple times. I'm actually rewatching it right now because, I had to refresh the memory. So I'm about on episode 22, I think. Had a nice 10 hours at a plane. So thank God we can download shows onto our phones, boys.
I know. We're living in the golden age.
And just to point out, I am recommending Brotherhood, not the original run where they got ahead of the manga and kind of changed the ending. So make sure you watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood if you check this out.
Looking at you,
So-
Tyler.
Yeah, I see what y'all doing. Y'all trying to make me watch it now.
Yes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I was like 80% like, yeah, this is like the best starter anime. And I was also 20% like, I got to get this fucking jackass to watch Full Metal because he needs to. He needs to.
It'll make your
so
life better. Sorry,
I
Dan,
guess
go ahead.
to start, the show is complete. It's 64 episodes with rock solid pacing. So pacing is a major issue in a lot of anime. We all watch our 720 to 1,000 episode shows. And there's filler. There's times where it moves kind of slow because they're trying to not get too close to the manga, things like that. So this was started right before the manga ended. So there was no issues with it. The other reason I picked it was, being at 64 episodes, it's not like you're trying to make somebody watch Naruto or One Piece where they got to watch like 7-8 episodes a day to try and catch up, because for like a non-anime fan, that has got to be fucking brutal.
Yeah, when I tell people, well, when I was catching up to One Piece, that wasn't my goal. You can't have that as a goal when you start watching that this late. I was telling them, hey, I've been watching this show for like 6 months. They're like, oh, you're not caught up yet? And then I tell them how many episodes, and they're like, you're insane. Why would you do that? I was like, because it's peak, but whatever. So that's a good idea, recommending something that doesn't have 700, 1,000 episodes. Good job there.
And then the last thing I was looking for was a show that was complete, because I didn't want to turn somebody on to something like Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh, wow.
Where, they catch up and then they're just sitting there like yearning for more. There's no closure,
But that's when you say like, hey, what's kind of like Jujutsu Kaisen, but longer, and you can stay watch it for a while? Naruto.
If I was going to go from JJK to something, it would not be Naruto. It'd probably be Bleach, because I think the
That's a little more
mangaka-
similar, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say that show is heavily influenced by Bleach.
Listen. Naruto and JJK is very similar. You got 3 main characters, right? You got Yuji
You better believe
Itadori, have the Sukuna, inside him, a beast inside him, and you got Naruto got 3 main characters, right? And a sensei. They both got senseis who look alike, Gojo and Kakashi. And Naruto has a beast inside him, and Kurama. Like, how is that not similar?
It is, but I'm just more saying that he got a lot of his influence from Bleach.
I got what you're saying. I'm just
Fair,
saying,
fair.
like, as looks, they're pretty similar. Basics.
Facts,
So, like,
dude.
For me, rewatching Naruto as an adult was tough. I think I was having nightmares of him just screaming, "Believe it!" in my dreams all the time.
Databayo!
But it's a haul, man. That's a one of the longer ones, especially if you don't skip filler.
I
Listen,
was low key sad that Tyler didn't pick Naruto, so I couldn't say Databayo, but we got one in there, folks. We got one in.
I got you, Dan.
I think I've watched Naruto all the way through at least 5 or 6 times in the last 5 years. So,
But you a savage though.
yeah.
We just trying to get them started, man. You a savage.
That's an obsession, dude. That's like beyond of like starter anime. That's like, I have a problem and I love spiky haired blonde characters and ramen.
But I'll explain myself, okay? So
Go
y'all
ahead.
don't think I'm weird or nothing. So I actually converted people to watching Naruto, but under one condition, that I would watch it with them. Well, like on the same pace as they did. You see what I'm saying? So
This
that way
man was
they could
having
talk
sleepover
about
so
it.
people would actually watch it. That's crazy.
That
You guys wanna
that way
come
we
to my
can talk
Naruto
about
slumber party? I'll make
I didn't invite
ramen.
him over, bro.
I got you guys headbands.
Nah, that's Dan. He's got the damn
Whoa.
headbands, bro.
That headband is older than you are, Tyler. Leave it
I think
alone.
this man once
Yo.
drunkenly convinced me to get a headband. It's somewhere in my closet. So
Yeah,
yeah,
dude.
that's more like Dan. That's more like Dan, actually.
Well, back to peak fiction.
No, we just left it.
So we've all So we all mentioned power scaling. We all picked shows that actually do a pretty good job of introducing that well. So the nice thing with Full Metal Alchemist, it's like Ed has his power. He's already really skilled with it. And so does everybody else. Like, you don't just come in and watch some scrawny little kid become Ninja Jesus out of nowhere.
That's fair.
And there's no ass pulls where somehow he has a demon inside of him who takes over and wins the fight for him.
That's one thing I really do love about that show. There are no ass pulls.
No.
There are none. Everything is earned in that show. It's awesome. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah. No, dude. Bounce in, man. We're convincing him to watch Peak. It's all good. We need all the info we can
This
get.
shit is goated. Yeah.
I don't think Mob Psycho has any ass pulls either, do they? Not that I know of.
I think like the
though.
first time you see him go like 100% full power, it is kind of an ass pull because like you're building up to it, but you have no idea. And then all of a sudden he just like goes like Super Saiyan 3 out of nowhere and just starts leveling cities and throwing trucks and shit.
All you hear is
But so going off of that, you know, there's no ass pulls, there's no plot armor to make your like main character super strong. The animation is super consistent through the show. Like there's no lapses where you have like where it looks like they're saving the budget for the fights, you know, like sometimes you see shows where like characters are bouncing up and down at 10 FPS, or they're just doing constant face shots because, well, they're saving the money for the good fights. And Full Metal doesn't do that, which is awesome. And the fight scenes are really well animated. Going on that note, we've all talked a little bit about fan service, which is, you know, a major turnoff for non-weeb folks, because frankly, if I was watching a show for the first time and there were just boobs everywhere and I wasn't used to that, I'd be kind of weirded out, you know?
Yes, I'm very desensitized to it, but I've been watching
We're all
anime with
desensitized to
non-anime
it.
watchers, and I'm like, oh shit, I forgot this was in here.
I definitely wouldn't be watching it with other people, but I'd be okay with it. You know.
And going off of fan service, so the women of the Full Metal world are all like badass. Like they're all extremely strong military women. Like the closest thing you'll find to fan service is Winry, and that's just because she's not in a military uniform. Like that's it, you know?
Yeah, every other girl there will absolutely wipe the floor with me.
For sure.
And you'd let them.
And then, like, I guess getting into the, you know, the meat and potatoes of it, like, the plot is just the perfect balance of drama and action, and they infuse comedy into it, like, flawlessly. It's not overbearing or cliche. There's none of the classic anime tropes. It's just a good fucking story. The world building is really good. Like, every episode just feeds into the next one perfectly. Like, you never feel like you're lost, which is huge, because sometimes when you're watching a show that's longer, you're like, I missed something. I have no idea where this character's coming from. Like, that doesn't happen in Full Metal Alchemist. All the characters are incredibly deep, and you can like actually like feel their emotions. Like you can feel the pain, determination, anger of the main characters and of the side characters. Yeah, I mean, the entire series is just laid out in such a super engaging and exciting way. The villains are all based off the 7 Deadly Sins, so that's classic throwback to like the real world and like, I don't want to say
Very
mythology, but you know, real world legends.
And before you get through that point, I would like to tell our audience or anybody that has not watched this, the king of Black Air Force energy is in this anime. I swear to you. He is vicious and he hardly sweats on folk. So, I mean, he's one of my favorite villains ever, and he's in this. I know I've been going on and on along with Dan about Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, but one of those 7 Deadly Sins is an absolute master. I love it.
Oh, for sure. And it's like, this is one of those shows that just when it ends, like it's almost like euphoric. Like you just feel so good. You're like, I just sat down and watched a goddamn masterpiece. And I think it's really tough to find a show that you can do that with like 70 episodes.
I'm not going to lie to you. So I think 2 weeks before this, I watched Death Note, which is also a really good show to start with. And then I watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. And I don't think I watched anime for like a month after, because I was like, I'm not going to find anything that good right now that I can watch that quickly. I was like, I need to go sit down somewhere. I need to go work on myself after this. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure, man.
It is very, very hard to find something that stands up And like you said, once you get done, it is a euphoric feeling. And then after that was a moment of dread. I was like, I can't watch that for the first time again anymore.
Never again. This is
Yep.
like up there with like, I mean, this is like my 1A and One Piece is like my 1B. Like, I don't know which one I put higher. And if I had to like pick one to rewatch for the first time again, it'd probably be One Piece just because it's so long. And I could enjoy it for like 5-6 months, but I could finish this in like 2 weeks, you know?
Very true. And
the
I might even
pacing
put it
would be
above
so
one.
good.
What'd you say?
I said, and the pacing would be so good watching it like that.
One Piece
watching One
is
Piece again?
Yeah.
Watching One Piece just like on Crunchyroll back to back is way better than having to watch it weekly. But I think everybody that watches it knows that at this point.
And I guess my last note is for all you short kings out there. Edward is your main character. He is a short dude. There's a lot of short jokes, but he overcomes and he strives. And there's a little time skip at the end, and he's maybe a little taller. So there's
Just a
hope
little
for all
bit.
you guys out there.
Yes, sir. If Edward can do it, y'all can do it.
So yeah, I also got some good news, by the way. So I told the boys, I'm off for like the next 2 weeks. So maybe we'll try to get some Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood watching. Maybe at least 20 episodes. Maybe.
He's gonna finish it.
Oh yeah, he's gonna
2
start.
weeks
He's gonna
off.
be like,
He's gonna
oh my
finish
God.
it.
Yeah.
This
But
is
I
one of those
believe-
shows too where it's early 2000, like 2009 to 2012 or something like that. So it has the classic anime intro where like they recap the last episode. So in reality, you're really watching like 15 minutes, dude. You get 4 episodes in an hour. You're good, dude. You're out of there in no time.
I'm gonna be hitting your line asking you about it, so be
Hey.
prepared.
Hey, you better be prepared to hit me back and tell me
I
about
got
the
you on that
Mob Psycho, bro.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
I'll
I'll
make a
just
deal
do
with
what
you.
I'm doing.
You wanna strike a deal right now?
What's up with it?
All right, 10 episodes, 2 weeks. I know you can do more than that, but I'm gonna check with you in 2 weeks and we're gonna see where we're at.
All right.
And I'll
Keep
do
us
the
a
same.
check, y'all. Dan.
Cool.
I'm just gonna sit here and enjoy it because I could go watch 10 episodes of Mob Psycho again. No problem, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right. There we go.
We
Got
got
and
some stakes now.
I guess my last note for Full Metal is that the dub is actually really good. So I'm not even telling you to read subtitles, guys.
Ooh.
That is important for a first time watcher. Like you don't even have to
Ooh.
read subtitles.
That is a great one. So going back to Jujutsu Kaisen, the dub for that is actually pretty good too. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
I don't know about the Mob
Mob
Psycho
I
dub.
don't know either. Mob Psycho subbed is so much better, I'm sure, honestly. Reagan and Mob is the voices and subbed is top tier. So
I just can't imagine hearing like Mob Psycho without Mob would just be
Mabu.
so Mabu would just be so
Mabu.
fucking sad.
Mabu-kun.
And I will go off what Tyler said. I wanted to say it earlier. So 2 of those shows are by Studio Bones. Full Metal and Mob Psycho are Studio Bones. And Jujutsu Kaisen is Mappa. They're all top tier anime studios. So you're not going to miss out on that. And Reagan is one of the funniest anime characters I've ever seen in my life. He is the biggest fraud in the world. And it's fucking awesome.
He's so good though.
Like Usopp level?
No.
Yeah. Like
Holy
imagine like
shit.
Kakashi and Usopp had a baby.
But he's
Oh,
so
wow.
much funnier, bro.
Okay. Usopp does get on my nerves sometimes, especially dubbed Usopp.
Yeah.
Terrible voice. Ugh.
Reagan ain't whiny, so
Okay, that's good.
he's top
He
tier,
is
bro.
the king of ass pulls, dude.
Yeah.
His whole character is an ass pull if you want the honest answer.
Yeah. So you're gonna love him.
Cool.
Most
cool.
people-
I'm
most-
excited.
That's most people's number one on Mob Psycho is Reagan. So
Bet. I think we have a really good like no miss list right here.
yeah.
Like if somebody, I can't say for Mob Psycho, but if somebody doesn't like Full Metal or Jujutsu Kaisen, they ain't made for this. They're not built like this. I'm gonna
The
go ahead and say
pacing-
it now.
Pacing for all of them is pretty good. So
Yeah.
it should keep them entertained.
For sure. And you can see Dimple. Dimple is the best, my favorite character in all of Mob Psycho. So
Dimple Sama.
awesome. Well, I think we recommended some great shows there. If you guys have any questions, make sure to hop in the Discord and ask away. If you go to linktree.com/anime Degens, you can find our Discord. I almost just said LinkedIn. Holy shit. We don't have one of those yet.
My boss
think
would
we'll
have
ever
some
get one.
questions, man.
I don't think we'll ever get one of those. We're not trying to find a job for all three. Maybe we are trying to find a job for all three of us.
Hey,
Doing
I need
this
a
for a
little
living
side
would be
hustle,
pretty
you know what I'm
cool.
saying? Yeah, that'd be dope.
But our Discord, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, all that shit is on there. And we might start doing some Twitch streams soon too. So check that out.
Super spicy.
Awesome. Tyler, you want to get us into the rundown?
Oh yeah. So this week we got Buddy Daddies episode 11, My Hero Academia 138, and also One Piece 1055. We'll start it out Buddy Daddies. Episode 11 called Everyone Will Be Hypocrites. Quick little summary goes like, with Miri gone from the apartment, Kazuki and Ray are going through the motions of life with nothing to keep him there. Ray tells Kazuki to keep the apartment as he plans to go back to his father after the new year. Soon, Ray learns that Miri, Misaki, and Kazuki are still in danger. It's time to act. So, in this episode, we see the show go back to its darker, violent ways. And a few big things happen, with one of them being what happens to Miri's mom. Care to let everyone know what happens, Bass?
So, we had our man Ogino, that creepy last words guy with his little black book, Cap Misaki,
Yeah.
shot her in cold blood. I'm not gonna say I was happy to see her go, but I don't like bad mothers, so there that is. But no, it was
Bro,
actually,
she was trying, man. She had a change of heart and she was trying to be a good mom.
clink clink
And you
pow,
just-
pow pow pow.
It wasn't a clinking, it was more of a silence, like
Did something like that. No, but I'm not saying she deserved it, but like I ain't sad about it at the same
Damn.
time. I'm more concerned about how that's gonna affect Miri. But yeah, like I thought it was a pretty good episode. There was a lot of action, and like you said, it went back to its a little bit darker ways. A lot of the middle part of this anime was very, very happy and cheery. But it's the second to last episode.
Yeah.
Guys, how do you think this is? Isn't it the second to last episode? I just want to make sure before.
Yeah. I think
Are
the
they
next...
counting 8.5 as an episode or just kind of like a recap?
I think it was a recap. I don't think it was like an actual episode because they went.
Okay,
They
we're
went
getting one or
8.5.
two more. One or two more. I'm not sure based on
I
that.
think
Okay, so
it might be one more, honestly.
I thought it was
I'm
12.
not sure.
It said 13,
It's 13, yeah.
Okay,
but that
Oh.
all depends on if 8.5 is an episode or
Yeah.
not. So
yeah, that'd be
We'll
kind
see.
of BS if they did count it because they called it 8.5. But hey,
well, I was
regardless
gonna
of
say
that,
too, like there's a
up?
lot to close out here, and if they do it in one episode, I feel like it's gonna feel really rushed or
That's
very
true.
intense.
Yeah. I guess
think
we'll
they
let
could
everybody
do it.
know next week probably. We'll probably know more. So
yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll have some really sappy credits or not, you know.
But yeah, speaking of the ending of the story, like Tyler, like what would be like a satisfying end for you? I know that's a big question, but give me what you got.
like obviously, we would want Miri to be back with the Papas, obviously,
Yes, sir.
but you would want somehow to find a happy even ground on where Miri's mom was still alive, because at some point, you are going to have to break the news to Miri, and
that is true.
what are you going to tell her? Are you going to tell her the truth, or are you going to like tell her some kind of bullshit lie? Either way, she's going to find out eventually, and so I would have liked to seen Miri's mom living still, with Ray and Kazuki kind of in her life as well, maybe like a switch off kind of thing. That's what I would have liked to seen, but unfortunately, Kyu thought that plan was the best, and we see how it turned out. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely a fire on Q's part there. Going back to the whole breaking Misaki's death to Miri, though, I think they can pull this off without actually telling her that she was murdered, because she was dying of cancer.
Oh yeah.
So I think you
Ooh.
kind of just be like, yeah, your mother was really sick, and before we could see her again, she passed away. Because like I can't imagine, because you're not going to tell her that right away. I mean, she's 4,
No.
and she had just seen her, but you could like I just can't imagine being like, yeah, your mother was shot in the stomach by an assassin because we're assassins as well. I don't think that would go
That's a
over
lot
very
to
well.
unpack. Yeah,
Oh, and by
that's
the
a whole
way,
lot to unpack.
we killed your real papa.
Schmirk,
True,
man.
yeah, as well. Yeah,
we
Shit.
killed one
Well,
of your parents and got the other one killed. That you can't
Eh.
say that. That
he
you-
wasn't a papa. He was a sperm donor,
No.
dude.
I mean, he was kind of shooting in her direction anyway. So yeah, I can get along with that.
But going back to your first question about like a satisfying end of the story, I want to see Rei and Kazuki go rain fucking fire on the
Yeah.
Suwa family residence. And I want to see that prick of Gino murdered in cold blood. And I want a really, really satisfying joke about his last words. That's what I need.
Oh, that would be so good. I think that needs to happen too, because even if they like escape somewhere, even if it's outside of Japan, like they just took the Siwa clan heir with them. You know, they're not going to let them go. So I think they have to go deal with that situation to be able to take care of Miri and not be looking over their shoulder for the rest of their lives.
Well, they
Yeah,
definitely
dude.
have to.
Pop that out, go lie on a nice beach in Tahiti.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a bad life, right? So we don't get to watch these too much. We've watched, I think, a couple of them on during our podcast, our time doing this podcast. But how do you guys like these like short, self-contained anime? Like, what you, Tyler? Do you think there's like some advantages or disadvantages? Is there things you like about it or don't?
Well, that's kind of a tricky question. I think
Fair.
it just depends on a few things, like if they have like good pacing set out. Sometimes with these like shorter self-contained anime, they'll try to rush things really fast, and it'll end up being like shit. But I think like Buddy Daddies has done a really good job with pacing. A lot of times we complain about slow pacing, but with these shorter contained animes like you're talking about, it's usually the other way around. Usually they just cram everything in together and
Right.
just see if it works. And usually it leaves you feeling confused and disappointed. Usually, so yeah.
Yeah, I was going off that. It is really nice to not have to watch 700 episodes of something. Like, we're getting kind of old and kind of busy. Like, we don't have time for that anymore.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But like Tyler said, it's tough though because they can't dive into things as much as some of us would like. But I feel like Buddy Daddies did a really good job with it. I haven't finished Revenger yet, but that's kind of a parallel in that sense. That's going to be a one season anime.
All right, that was
13.
12 episodes. Yeah.
12 episodes, yeah. So it's kind of like the perfect parallel. Yeah, we just haven't finished that. But personally for me, that 50 to 100 episode show is kind of the sweet spot.
I can agree with that. It has time to like get into the individual characters as people, but still, push the story along. And like you guys are saying, like, yeah, on these shorter shows, they can like cram a lot in. It's like, okay, like a lot of this came out of nowhere, which I don't think Buddy Daddies did that in this case. But I generally like the shorter ones. Like you said, Dan, like we have things going on. We got to go to work. We got to come home and take care of things. So just being able to pop on a couple episodes for like a week and be done with a story is a big advantage to me, especially when it's something well done like Buddy Daddies. I also like Revengers. So I like them. I haven't been introduced to too many of these where it's this short, but I've liked the two that I've watched, the last couple months.
It's kind of like when you watch like an OVA, say like, which is, usually like a 4 or 5 or 6 episode, like offshoot of an anime. And they usually really focus on the plot in those. So those are always fun. But one of the things that Buddy Daddies did really well so far is it hasn't introduced like too many characters that matter. And sometimes with these shorter animes, you'll have like 20 characters, you're bouncing around names. And like they just show up like once on episode 2, and then 6 episodes later, they're back. And you're trying to figure out what the point of it is. But Buddy Daddies kind of did a good job not doing that. I mean, Miri has her school friends, the teacher, but besides that, it's really just the family on both Rei's side and, Miri, Kazuki, Rei, and their mother,
I mean, there's maybe 7, 8 plot pushers, and a lot of them are grouped around each other, so it's easy to get through that.
And hell, most of them most of the side ones, like Miri's daycare teacher and stuff, we don't even know their names. We just know their
That's
job
Miss Anna.
or their role.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Bro, Miss Anna,
Look, it's not important.
she's dummy thick, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
Stupid thing.
It's not important to know their names. Just know what
Don't
they
listen to
do.
What?
Mm,
Bro,
mm, mm, mm,
your reading comprehension needs some work, my friend.
But the one thing that another thing that I don't like about these kind of animes though, like these shorter ones, there's also like when you get done with them, with a shorter anime, you want to go and sometimes you want to go and read the LN or the manga or whatever. You want to read it and see what's next while you're waiting for a second season announcement, stuff like that. Well, most of these don't even have like very far into the source material. Like Buddy Daddies, it don't even have any source material. So
I was gonna say that really depends on the show, but the beauty of Buddy Daddies is gonna be a self-contained one shot.
Yeah.
So we don't need to worry about that. We should get a really good resolution at the end of it, I hope.
You would hope.
They better not fucking butcher the ending of this after we just watched and talked about it for freaking, 2-3 months.
Even after like we see the ending, we obviously, me as a slice of life guy, I would want to see like what happens after. You see what I'm saying? Not just what happened to get to where we are at this point. What happens in the happy after? You know what I mean?
Like I said,
if we get a happy after,
beach on Tahiti to live in the dream.
I want to see it though. I want to read about it.
All right, 2 things.
Okay.
Tyler doesn't like to read, and he
All
doesn't like closure.
Noted.
GG's. They caught me.
Going back to the plot of this episode, I was really, really heartbroken seeing Misaki get murdered in cold blood like that. Obviously we had some reservations. Some of you guys had some reservations. I was hopeful that she was going to turn it around to be a really good mom, and she was definitely trying. I mean, there's a scene where she cooks Miri dinner, and Miri goes, my hamburger steak tastes different, and it goes to the kitchen and shows that it was handmade, fresh ingredients. Like, she cooked the thing, not just buying a frozen one at the gas station and throwing it in the microwave. And seeing her put in that kind of effort to really like be a mother for Miri was absolutely heartbreaking to see that she got murdered in cold blood like that.
And her own blood, sweat, and tears was put into that literally. So
yeah, she cut herself a few times. That is right.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was really trying, but how I started this segment, I want to give you guys some perspective on how I was thinking about the whole thing. Okay, Mary's 4 years old. The mom gets cancer. She says she's going to die in 4 months, 6 months. She walks into a situation where her daughter is really thriving. She's going to a really good school. She has 2 people that care about her. It didn't make sense to me. And, I'm not a parent or anything, but it didn't make sense to take her out of that situation, and then you're going to die in 4 months, in 120 days.
Well, at that point, like as a parent, I feel like she's trying to undo her wrongs, at that point, and try to just try to forgive herself, I think. So
Well,
Yeah.
that as well, though. I mean, Q called her and said, hey, yo, your daughter's living with a couple assassins who murder people for a living.
Well, he didn't say that, did he?
He said something along the,
background
he
part,
said it was
right?
dangerous.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So obviously she's fucking concerned. And I think she
Well,
did
that's
try
fair.
and make the right call there. I just think it was fucking tragic to see her just get fucking pop right in the fucking gut,
Yeah, I don't dislike her. I'm very indifferent to that woman. But yeah, I can see how that's sad.
Bass
I
is a
just
mama's
like-
boy, if none of you guys knew that.
I just like how it makes us kind of hate her and not like her the episode before, and then it somehow turns that around and makes us like feel sad for her. Like they done a really good job at that in the next episode, just the turnaround of emotions that it made us feel towards her. Like not many anime
That's
can
true.
do that.
with only a few episodes too.
No, it was,
like
it
you
was
said,
like
2 or 3
one
episodes.
episode.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a scene in this non-existent manga where fucking Naruto reaches his hand out and says, "You can change. You can be better." And that's what happened.
She got talk no jutsu off screen. Crazy.
Y'all go watch Naruto to see what's up. See what we're talking about.
Or just go on Twitter and see a couple meme panels.
The memes are going crazy with that panel right now, man. I've been enjoying those.
Adolf Hitler.
Yeah, I saw that, bro. It's not too late. Man, I don't know, Naruto. I don't know, dog.
But I guess, so the episode closes with, they get Miri out of the situation with Ogino. Basically, they fake call the cops, but they actually call the cops, but they kind of fake it with Q in the background. Like, this is the police. And he runs off, and they get her out of there, and they go to a safe house. And we see a lot of conviction from Ray at the very end of this episode, saying that he wants to be Miri's parent. He wants to be in her life. He doesn't care what he has to do to do it. And that was fucking awesome.
It is.
Yeah. He's not a very emotional guy, so it's good to see like that level of commitment out of him verbalizing it at least.
Definitely.
I thought we'd see Kazuki, being on that side of things, but to see Ray do it, like that was it blew my mind, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Kazuki just really wants to protect her, and he thinks the best way to protect her is to put her out of harm's way. But Ray's like, nah, we're burning this place down. We're burning this place down for my daughter. And I'm like, hell fucking yes,
let's
dude.
go, boy. You know he's got the skills.
Yeah, he does.
So, yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with the Siwa clan.
I'm really excited for the next episode or two.
Hopefully,
we don't know. Hopefully two. But Tyler, you want to get us into My Hero?
Yeah. Let's we're gonna move on to My Hero Academia 138, called No Man is an Island. Quick summary before we head into this. As Deku is getting some much needed relaxation, All Might is confronted by Stain, who has been lurking in the shadows. They are given an important piece of information that changes everything. I believe this is the last episode of the season, and there's not a whole lot of action happening. But that doesn't mean big things didn't happen. We start off by finally seeing what Stain wants with All Might. He just wanted to talk, apparently. Dan, what do you want to talk about?
Yeah, so Stain was basically tailing All Might and Deku for a while now, because during the Tartarus breakout, he was able to obtain some really important data. I'm not sure what yet. Like they kind of went into it, but not really. They're deciphering it. It's supposed to take 38 days.
I think they said something about like how they got into Tartarus, right?
Yeah, so they actually did decipher it during the episode.
Oh, okay. I thought they said it was going to take. Oh, wait. What was the whole 38 days thing about then?
We'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
But the information that he got was it was like communications and reports of failed systems. So like when you say your app goes down, it sends a report to whoever makes the app. It was pretty much that on those files. So they could understand how Tartarus was attacked, which is very important. And then he also gave them information about Shigaraki's recovery time. And that's the piece of information that kind of really changed everything, because they thought it was going to be at least 8 full weeks. And they were 35 days in. And he actually, instead of them having 3 to 4 more weeks or longer, they have 3 days to get ready. So that's what the information was. So
gotcha, I missed that. I thought they were talking about deciphering it. Yeah, I remember the whole part about like radio waves. Basically, Shigaraki and All for One were communicating via radio waves, which is also what was disrupting all the robots and everything else. But I must have missed the part where they're saying that they already deciphered it. I thought they were saying it was going to take long to decipher the data.
Oh no, they got 3 days to prepare now.
Whoops.
It's fucking going down.
My reading comprehension needs some work.
Let's just we're gonna rely on Bass from now on.
Have you seen this man's spelling?
Oh no,
it is atrocious. I ain't gonna hold you, dog.
Atrocious. If you follow Bass on Twitter, half his tweets get deleted or reset out.
I once misspelled my name in front of a bank teller, and I just walked out. I was like, I can't stand up to this shame.
Damn.
Top 5 most embarrassing moment of my life.
But going back to Stain,
Yeah, let's do that.
So during the scene where he's handing over the data, he's basically grilling All Might because All Might is just a shell of himself. And it really brings you to like a cool point in Stain's character arc. I think it brought it really full circle because Stain doesn't hate heroes.
No.
He hates heroes who are in it for the fame and the money and like the popularity. And he does respect true heroes like All Might and Deku who want to protect society. And what's happening now is not Stain's idea of what society should be at all. And that's why he's helping the heroes with this data. And he gave kind of All Might a really, really backhanded pep talk. I think it was a good way to put it. I think it was a good way to put it as a backhanded pep talk.
Yeah, I wasn't sure whether he didn't believe it was actually All Might or if he was just insulting him, telling him to get his crap together. But by the end, it was like, hey, man, how dare you call yourself All Might? You sitting around here frowning, moping around. You're not even helping anybody. And I think All Might needed to hear that. He still needs, even though he doesn't have his, swole body, he needs to be helping people because he is still a symbol. But I thought it was really ironic how Stain, even though he's the hero killer, the big bad at one point in the show, is coming back around and actually saving Japan pretty much. Because they'd be screwed if they didn't know he'd be ready in 3 days.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And I also really like how Stain used the woman who was actually coming and cleaning the graffiti off of the All Might statue and everything else. Be like, look, that's the people you saved. Like, it was actually the last woman he saved during his big fight for All for One. So like bringing her back into the story was just incredible in my opinion.
Yeah. What'd you think about that, Tyler?
Like I just want, like, it doesn't really say it. I don't think, unless it did, but I think that Stain called All Might there and kind of had that planned out with the lady coming to clean the statue and stuff. I felt like that was a planned out thing to try to get All Might back on track because, like y'all said, he doesn't really hate heroes and he doesn't want to work with the villains because he's against villains as well. He just hates fake heroes. So I felt like he felt like he needed to get All Might back on track in order to for All Might to be a big boost on the current heroes, which they need to experience that All Might has. So
that is very true.
Yeah,
definitely.
And one thing I didn't really think about before Stain started talking to All Might was like, yeah, we knew Deku was way out in left field and messed up. But I don't think I had really thought about All Might in that way as well, because I was no longer expecting anything out of him. But Stain has such a high regard from him. He's like, no, you still have to do more than what you're doing. You're just following around Deku, man, and I need more than that. And they do. They really do.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was kind of hard. Like, I noticed it a couple times this season, but it was just hard when the focus was so much on Midoriya,
Yeah. And Dark Deku.
His emo phase was fucking top tier, man.
Talking about those two, do you think Deku and All Might's relationship is going to return to normal after this, or you think it's going to be a little different than it was before?
Go ahead, Dan.
I was gonna say, I think it's gonna return more to the normality of what it was. I don't know if it can ever get back to that like full on mentor, like here's how to use your powers role, but I think he can be more of a guiding light, essentially, for Deku and push him in the right direction. I mean, All Might was the symbol of peace for a long fucking time. And Deku, he's young blood. He's coming up. He's got a lot of power. He's broken as all hell, but he still doesn't have that battle experience and things like that. So I think that's more what he's going to lean on All Might for, is like, hey, what's the right thing to do here? Obviously Deku has a very, very heroic character and he cares about everyone in society, but I think it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
I think it's going to transform it into something a little different, like you said. It's going to be more of a hands-off mentor, kind of just kind of advising him on what to do instead of trying to teach him about his powers. He can talk to all the previous users of One for All now, so he still has those people in that role, but yeah, I think All Might's going to be looking a little different. Their relationship's going to be looking a little different.
Definitely.
And honestly, like it's not just Deku who needs All Might's help and guidance. I think all the younger heroes and plus the current heroes as well, kind of like Endeavor could use some guidance right now as number one hero. He's receiving the most backlash he's ever had in his life, and I feel like that All Might could help the whole situation. Honestly.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see with the whole hero rankings because that's just thrown out the window now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that was kind of refreshing to see, I mean, I was kind of bummed about it, but it was kind of refreshing was to see like Midoriya get back to like being with his friends in like school life and like those casual interactions and everything. But I think that was kind of lame for me because I was loving this last arc.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, they're talking, that's fine, but like I want some more action,
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed Dark Deku. I think My Hero Academia was really in their bag with that. I have been waiting for Deku. I've said this almost every episode. I've been waiting for him to grow up a little bit, and I think he has. But season 6, I thought was a banger. This being the last episode, I mean, you guys have a ranking for it, and as far as the seasons of My Hero Academia, this is one of your favorites, not so favorite?
Oh, it's definitely one of my favorite seasons due to the whole season was just action packed. And that's what I was kind of saying. It's a kind of a downer that it ended on such a relaxed note.
I wasn't expecting that. I guess it was set up to that, the last couple of episodes, but I when you have so much action throughout a season, I kind of expected to end on a super high note.
Yeah, but they did give us a really nice cliffhanger with the whole Shigaraki's going to be back full power in 3 days. So it kind of did a really good job setting up season 7. And they did an even better job introducing Mami, because let me tell you, I'm very excited for Star and Stripe. She looks like she could crush like a fucking Mack truck between those thighs, dude.
For sure. It looked like freaking All Might 2.0 over there. It was nuts. I was not expecting that. And I actually thought it was a little weird that these top heroes, and I hadn't thought about it, the top heroes from other countries it seemed like they were kind of in the dark because they were saying, oh, they need help. And you would think in the real world, major cities in Japan getting destroyed would be worldwide news for like weeks, right? And it's been that way for a month.
Well, so have we ever like heard of like the other nations outside of Japan at all, and if they have any kind of hero system as well? Have we ever heard that until now?
Yeah, we did hear about it back when All Might did his like internship, essentially is what I'm going to call it. He went to America for a little bit.
Okay.
And I think that's where he either met Star and Stripe or influenced her in some way, which is why she looks just like him.
Not a coincidence.
So I don't think that was a coincidence. I think there's going to be some really good backstory with that.
Yeah, but, she called All Might Master. So
yeah,
I mean that's one of his apprentices. Since we know he has at least 2 now.
But going back to what you were saying about how the other heroes don't know what's going on, I think they do know what's going on, but it's one of those things where you're like in a hero agency and you can't necessarily there's like an organization that oversees all the hero agencies. And I think stepping out of line is very frowned upon. And it's also a thing too that they brought up in the UN scene when they were like, if we take all our best heroes and send them to Japan, we're going to have a lot of issues in our own countries. Villains are going to rise up because of that absence. So it's kind of, it's a double-edged sword of like, we want to send them, but we're going to be screwed if not,
Yeah, I can see how it would come to a breaking point for some of the top heroes in other countries at this point. But I was just a little taken off guard there.
I'm just trying to figure out when did All Might and them actually call for help? Did they just now call for help since they know that Shigaraki's going to be there in 3 days? Or did they, like, why not call for help after the Tartarus event and try to take down Shigaraki and all the stuff, like, ASAP with, like, all the other heroes coming in? Like, you don't even have to have, like, a bunch of heroes. You just have to have, like, the number ones or number twos coming in to help. And that would be, I feel like, a lot of help, based on what's going on in My Hero verse right now. And they could have probably found Shigaraki fast, and maybe took
I
him
think
down
so, man.
before, yeah. Like, I don't get it. I'm like with you, Bass. I just don't understand this situation. So
Yeah, I think the danger level got amplified exponentially when they found out that it was going to be 3 days, and that's when they called him, if that makes sense.
yeah, I just don't know why they didn't call him sooner. Because look at the shape the world's Japan's in. So
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
understand as an anime point, plot,
I hope they go into
So,
that next season, actually. I hope Star and Stripe has something to say about that.
Well, she went before it was approved.
yeah. She's
And
like,
that scene when she was on all the B2 stealth bombers flying
That was
in,
dope.
I saw a TikTok and somebody took it and put the Team America theme song playing, and I was cracking up.
Oh, I need to go check that out.
I gotta find it. I'll send it to you. It was so funny. It was like, America, fuck yeah! I was like, yes, yes, yes.
When they said she was flying there, I was like, what is she, Superman? And then she's just like standing up on the B2.
She got a bomber.
that's badass, bro. That's badass.
She is officially like my favorite hero now, and
Yeah.
I don't know what her quirk is, but I'm assuming it's fucking broken if she's America's #1 hero. So she's gonna be way too overpowered.
Oh yeah, I'm excited to see.
So since we're coming into the end of season 6, what's your guys' thoughts on when season 7 is gonna start coming out?
I mean, like the actual season 7 like release date.
Yeah, it's not out. It's not announced yet. So
Well,
I
I
know we're
think-
getting one, obviously, but
I think it'll be this coming up this winter anime season.
I
Or
think
even
winter.
fall. Yeah, I
Sheesh.
think winter.
Dang,
I
I was
mean-
gonna say next fall 2024.
My very educated guess, based on when every other season has come out, is going to be spring 24. Because it's like every season has come out exactly about a year after it finished. So I think we're going to be getting a spring
Impressive.
24. But who knows I don't remember what studio does them, but with all the anime coming out, all the studios being late and stuff like that, who knows?
Yeah, they've been working. They've been putting in overtime for our entertainment,
Overtime, for sure, dude.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm really excited for Star Spangled Mommy. I don't know about you guys, but Tyler, you want to get us into One Piece this week?
Yeah. So this week we got One Piece 1055. A shadowy figure pulls the strings. Onigashima and flames. A quick summary, real quick. While Sanji speculates about what is happening to his body, we learn that Kinemon, Kiku, and Kanjuro are still alive. This allows Orochi to carry out a last-ditch plan as more and more parties are getting involved in the battle. So we switch gears to Sanji's fight with Queen in this episode, and also some other things going on as well. But speaking of Sanji, we're getting to see a little bit more about the weird shit that's happening to his body. He's starting to get like we see in this episode he's starting to get his exoskeleton. He's swords are breaking in half on his body. He's got his super regen health. Like the only thing he's missing right now is his cold heartedness. What do y'all think about that? Y'all think it's coming soon?
No, I don't think it's coming soon, man. Sanji's gonna be Sanji and like stick to his guns and be who he is. But I don't know why you'd be mad about becoming like part cyborg and being a fucking badass.
Well, I mean, think about all the things he's been through and how hard he's tried to like separate himself away from the Vin smokes.
Yeah.
And then
Man.
right in the middle of battle, like you're becoming exactly like the people you fucking hate. That'd be a lot.
I feel like, just saying, I would be a little more focused on the fight in front of me and not run around going, oh my God, what's going on with me? Why am I fucking getting hit with bullets and feeling like I got pinched by like bit by a mosquito? Why can't I take a sword to that and be like, oh, let's take advantage of this and fuck him up and worry about that later, you know?
See, I would also be doing that, but yeah, I thought it was weird he like completely stopped fighting Queen for a minute and started running away. He's like, oh, I'm so scared right now. He could use a little bit of cold-heartedness.
Put the raid suit on. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, I think
I'm with Queen on this
a little
one.
bit more killer instinct.
I'm with Queen on this one. Let's throw the raid suit back on.
I'm with it.
I don't know, guys.
He called himself Soba Man.
Soba Man.
Give him to me.
I didn't really care for this episode much because it made Sanji like it just done him dirty. I felt like big time. So
hey man, he's not the number 4 on the Straw Hats for no reason. You know, he's not Jinbei. Yeah. He's not Zoro. Come on.
Yeah.
Damn, we knocked him down to number 4.
Dude, it's Jinbei. Come on.
I mean, I ain't arguing with you, but like I ain't really even think about it like that. I mean, he can still throw that in the kitchen, so I give him something. But as far as fighting, I think you're right. But guys, like, do you think this feeling, this fear of becoming heartless is like real, Tyler? Like, do you think that that's a real possibility?
Honestly, no. Because I don't think that he would let himself do that, become that, if you know what I'm saying. I think in a way, being heartless or whatever is in the user's decision, kind of. So back in the day, his brothers and sisters, they had to become heartless, kind of, I believe, to survive in that atmosphere with his dad and parents or whatever. Sanji has Luffy and all the Straw Hats to keep him in check, I guess you can say. So I think he's got a really good support system. I think that it's not likely to happen.
And like, to your point, like, his sister is not heartless.
Yeah.
At all. She helped him escape. She understood his pain. His brothers are just dicks.
Well, if I remember correctly, going back to Whole Cake Island, I don't think his sister had all of the genetic modifications that the boys did.
Oh. Okay.
If I remember correctly, I don't think they did that because, well, I'm assuming that Sanji's father is kind of misogynistic and all that kind of shit, because that's who he would be.
Yeah.
But going off of what Tyler is saying, I think, just the difference in upbringing, because Sanji actually has a real father role model, in Zeph, our boy at the Baratier. He had a way different upbringing. He's been through so much more. He wasn't just programmed to be a mindless killing machine. So I think he'll get through this fine. I just think it's really badass to have an exoskeleton and be able to like take bullets and shit. So
it is like,
embrace it.
That's such a power boost for him. And I mean, we'll see what else, he gets out of this, but not being susceptible to swords or bullets, like, that's great defense. We know he already has a great offensive arsenal, but he had like a normal body. Now he's pretty much immune to most physical attacks. So
definitely,
that's freaking dope. I
feel like if Sanji can stay Sanji and still pull off this, the other modifications like he's doing, like, he's gonna be like top tier.
Like, yeah. Does that put him at number 3, Dan?
Number 4.
Oh shit, man!
Hard locked at number 4.
He ain't got nothing on the Son of the Sea, dude. The man's a former warlord.
The first Son of the Sea. Put some respect on his name. But we also saw some characters, to me, who I thought were dead already. They should have been. So we saw that Kanjuro, Kinemon, and Kiku were alive. Like, I mean, did anybody feel some type of way about that? Because I personally didn't like it. Speaking of ass pulls that we were talking about at the beginning of the show, Kinemon still being cut in half by Law, even though he's been attached for what in real time is years at this point. I thought was ridiculous.
No, real time is like
well,
probably like
I'm talking about in our
weeks, but in our time. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So I thought that was kind of wild.
But I mean, they do have a point because he wasn't attached properly, you know. So
that is true. I guess that's a Oda.
So technically,
Oda big brain
laws, magic or whatever, is still, you know, working to stop that, I guess, blood flow. I guess, and keeping him alive at that point.
Yeah,
I'm assuming.
and positives. You know, we get to see Kinemon talk through farts again.
I was about to say, speaking of ass holes,
that's a major ass pull. Oh, he can speak with farts. I was like, that's both impressive and scary.
Well, I'm just sitting here. I'm like, with ash push, yeah, not an ash pull. Good call. I think with like how serious the show has gotten, it was nice to have some like comedic relief interjected. But at the same time, like, do it a different way, man. That was, I don't know. Like, I completely forgot about that part from reading the manga because it was over a year ago at this point. I can't believe it's been a year since that came out. But I was like, oh, I forgot about this shit. But the fact that he was only concerned with getting Kiku saved, good for Kinemon. And the fact that Kanjiro was alive, just put that fucking clown in the ground, dude. I'm so sick of him.
Right.
And Orochi too, bro. Like, get rid of him.
Yeah, we thought Orochi got killed. Yeah.
Dude, they cut off all the heads of the Hydra. Like, why is he still kicking?
Yeah. Well, you can't. Yeah, that's how Hydras work, though. You cut off one head, they grow more. You can't kill a Hydra like that. So people got to stop beheading him. I don't know what's up with that.
They just got to body him, cut him all off.
Because it was both Kinemon and then also Kaido cut off his head, right? Was it Kaido?
Yeah, Kaido cut off his actual head in human form, and then he came back and he went into his devil fruit hybrid form, and the samurai chopped off every head. So I was like, God damn it, just get rid of this guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure it's going to lead into the plot somehow, and there's going to be a big part about it. No, just probably, you know, like him being around is there for a reason, I'm assuming.
Well, we got at least one reason in this episode. He really spurred Kanjiro to, you know, make one last move and release Kazenbo, that fire ghost that we saw. Now the whole castle's on fire. That thing's, you know, going through walls, lighting everything on fire, man.
Yeah, and as if you call back to previous episodes, the fact that all of Onigashima is just a ticking time bomb with all the ammunition and the firepower in the basement, like, not looking too good for him.
No.
Yamato better hurry up, bro. He better like figure something out.
Yeah, it's going down. Things are heating up quite literally. Sorry for the pun, boys. But we also saw Apu talking to ex-Drake, excuse me, about a secret plan with some giants, guys. What did you guys think about that?
Apu is a fucking idiot, man.
About
I don't care how beat up the Straw Hats are. Like, first off, Frankie and like Jinbei aren't doing that bad right now, and they could take down the numbers. Like, that's just fucking stupid. Apu's an idiot.
And Brooke too. Like, Brooke ain't like he's chilling.
Do not sleep
too.
on Brooke. Yeah. Brooke has he taken any damage yet?
I mean, he's a skeleton. Does he really take damage? He just cracks and drinks some milk and he's back to full power, right?
I mean, he was getting pieced up by that samurai on Thriller Bark.
That's true. That samurai is also like a legendary samurai, though. So
yeah, that's true. That's true.
The body of Ryuma got something going for him,
and he was surviving. So yeah, he's pretty tanky, low key. But yeah, like, I don't see how he thinks he's gonna stir up some noise with three giants.
They crazy. Nah. They must not ever heard like what happened if like Thriller Bark, you know? Like,
yeah, they took down a literal giant, like the biggest, baddest giant there was. They just took him down with these, you know,
without Luffy, right? I think.
Yeah, without Luffy.
I think it was Luffy, right?
Well, Luffy did the final blow, but yeah, it was a real team effort there, if I remember correctly. Yeah. One of my favorite moments in the show, by the way.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, I don't think them giants have like he said, Apu he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, bro. He's just spouting off nonsense at this point.
Right. And
So.
I think X Drake knows he's being a goofy ass.
Yeah, X-Drake's a Marine spy. Like, we know that. He's part of Sword. Like, he ain't gonna let that shit happen.
No, he's like, my folks is pulling up, man. I ain't gonna do nothing with you.
Hey, my boss is that dude's grandpa, man. I can't piss him off. I'll get full hockey guard punched in the face, and I ain't living through that.
Nope.
But I guess the last point that came out in this episode is CP0 starting to make their move on Robin.
Mm-hmm.
And what fucking rat ass little bitches those guys are, dude. You wait till everybody's beat up. The fight's been going on for like 72 hours. Like, there's bodies everywhere, and you're just up there playing chess and sipping tea, and now you're gonna make your move? Nah, come on, man.
Shoot, I would have waited a little longer.
Yeah.
Get to the end game of the fight where there's only a few big people, and now it's like, okay, now we can steal it because everybody's tired. Well, I guess they got to get to her before she gets killed or something like that. You know, they got.
Yeah, Robin can take down Mr. Finger Pistol, no problem, dude.
She didn't look too happy about seeing him though. Shoot.
No, I wouldn't be.
Mm-mm.
And fortunately, like, if the fire helped anything, it helped. I think it helped them escape a little bit. So it put some distance in between CB0 and Robin and Brooke. So.
Definitely.
That's one good thing about it.
Yeah, it's really true. And we know that some of the world government ships are pulling up to Wano. So it's really going to get spicy for Robin. I wonder if she actually gets kidnapped and they have to go save her. That'd be super cool. Round 2 with a Water 7. I'm with it. Bring it back one more time.
You think Brooke's going to let that happen, bro?
Nah, I doubt it.
Nah, yeah, Brooke ain't gonna Luffy ain't gonna. Nobody's gonna let that happen, man. They're like, we've already done this shit. We've already been through this, man. We're not doing it again.
Yeah,
she said she wants to live. It's over, okay?
Okay, I'll take that out.
And thankfully, the episode ended with Kaido and Luffy getting some fucking blows in. And after this episode being kind of like mid animation, a lot of like reaction shots and stuff like that, they just said fuck it. And just spent like 80% of the episode budget on a 2-minute fight between Kaido and Luffy.
Yeah, that shit was funny as hell. Because when they were introducing the giants, that Oppo, the numbers or whatever, I counted. I was like, okay, I wonder how long they're gonna drag out this introduction to these giants. And it was 28 seconds. They got half a minute out of saying 3 names. It was amazing. I was just sitting there laughing. And then, as you said at the end, I'm like, oh, so this is where they spent all their money and time. Cool.
So with the last shot being like that, I just hope y'all ready for the next episode, because the first 10 minutes is going to be that exact shot in just multiple angles.
Yo, you're not a liar. You're not a liar. We go through this on a weekly basis.
Yeah,
I'm calling it. So y'all be ready.
I think our genius plan to go to the bi-weekly rundown and swap shows back and forth might be really good for One Piece.
Yeah, I could deal with that. Jesus, because we don't just have to sit here and talk about reaction shots for 15 minutes.
Nah, especially all the peak going on, dude.
Oh, man, it's going to be a hot summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say, though, the to be continued scene at the very end, that was gas of the anime. That was different and new, and I really enjoyed that. But
yeah, they flowed into it, didn't it?
Oh, they flew right into it, dude. It was money. That's where they spent like a third of the budget.
Oh, yeah. Very clearly. I did love that. It was a good way to end the episode, and it at least not leave me completely disappointed.
That was nice. A $30,000 to be continued sign, dude.
That's so sad.
Damn.
Awesome. Well, I think that's going to do it for the weekly rundown on our end, guys. Bass, you want to get us going on one of the most classic and for one of the most well-known and well-regarded anime movies out there?
Yeah, sure. So, guys, like Dan just said, we're doing an Exploring the Classics section here, talking about Spirited Away. I believe this came out in 2004, so 19 years ago. And fun fact, I had not seen it. I've been wanting to watch this for a long time. I believe Dan had to watch this in middle school or elementary school a ton. So I'm not sure if he was excited, but to get into it, Spirited Away is the story of 10-year-old Shira. How do I say her name?
Chihiro.
Chihiro, excuse me, guys. At the beginning of the story, her and her parents stumble upon an abandoned amusement park. After Chihiro's parents are turned into pigs, she finds out this park is being used by spirits as a resort. She then meets a new friend, Haku, who helps her escape that brutal world and turn her parents back into humans. So I know Dan has seen it. Tyler, have you seen this movie? Had you watched this before?
It was a long time ago. Like, I'm thinking around when I was 10 years old, maybe a little bit before that, I would say. So it's not something that I guess you would say I paid heavy attention to.
Right.
It was at that time, point in my life. So I did watch it, but I would put heavy emphasis on watching it. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think the first time I watched this movie was in 6th grade in my multicultural class. Basically, it was a class where we just learned about different cultures and stuff like that.
Okay.
Watch movies in Chinese sub, Mexican, or Spanish sub, all over, like Mexican stories, Chinese stories, this story, that story.
That's
really cool. But I think the first time I watched it was when I was in 6th grade, like I said, and that was right around what I think the target audience age is for this, is like that 10 to 12-year-old kid.
I can agree with that. Yeah.
And watching a sub movie in class was fucking cool, dude, because I was already a weeb, so big fan of that.
I mean,
I know that was right up your alley, man.
I wish my school had done shit like that. We got to watch like Romeo and Juliet and shit like that. So no cartoons for us, bro.
No, I don't think nothing had the budget for that. We were sharing books. You
could have been sharing movies, dude.
Yeah, I guess that's cheaper than books. But yeah, guys, like right off the bat, it kind of just starts with this family moving to a new city. And right from the get-go, even when they're still in the car, I noticed how Chihiro's parents treated her. They kind of were very, very dismissive of her, and I really, really did not appreciate that. I was kind of happy when they got turned into pigs, even though it was scary for Chihiro.
Oof. I think
I'm being hard on the parents today. Actually,
you're being real bad on parents today, dude. But so that point of the movie was to clearly show how timid and nervous Chihiro was.
Very true.
That was the point of it, because like, what little kid wouldn't want to do that?
Right? That's what you do when you're younger, right?
You're like, let's go check it out. Let's do it. This is awesome. But that was kind of just to get across the point that she's a really scared child. She's very timid, and that kind of plays into the rest of the movie. I mean, that's kind of the whole point of the movie. In the end, it is.
That is very, very true. Yeah. It was just tough for me. I have a very supportive parents, so that was hard to watch for me. I didn't appreciate them, but she got them back in the end. It was cool. It was cool.
But to be honest, like they should have listened to her all the way through. Like every point, they should have listened to her. So
yeah, she was getting bad vibes.
Nah. It would have been a really lame movie if they didn't go in that tunnel. It would have just been like some girl moving into a new house and getting bullied in like middle school or something, dude. Come on.
I've been okay with that.
What?
No, I mean not the situation. I was just saying overcoming bullies. Let's put a spin on it. Let's clean that up.
Missed the whole point of the film, dude. That would have run over your head. This reading comprehension thing has got to come back.
So like, speaking of like the message or the theme of the story, like, what did you guys pick up on that when you were kids, when you watched it?
Not as much. Like, you definitely kind of got the gist of it, but I think going back and watching as an adult, you can really hone in on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I watched it with my wife, and she was like, "What's the point of that?" I was like, Caitlin, come on. Try to explain it to her.
I felt the same way though. Like, me and my sister watched it, and at the end we were like, what was that even about? So I had to get online. I was like, what the hell did I just, this happened to me with Akira too. I was like, what the hell is this? But yeah, no, it's actually got some pretty deep themes, and I thought it was really cool. And like you were saying earlier, Dan, before we started the show, that there's a foil in here, and blackface. Sorry, no face. Excuse me. Shit.
Cut it for the podcast. Guys, it's okay. He's a black man.
Yeah, I'm glad I said it. But yes, No Face is his name. But yeah, no, I thought it was a really cool movie after I understood what it was about, and you can definitely tell that Chihiro like grew up a lot during this time. Especially like the first time she goes like down from like the garden area to the water heating room, like she's like climbing down the stairs extremely slowly, even though she's in a lot of danger, needs to get down there fast.
Oh yeah.
And then by the end, she's like walking on pipes that are breaking. It was cool to see, man. It was really really cool to see. But Dan, could you kind of explain how No Face is a foil?
Yeah, so like a couple of the key points in this are you watch Chihiro and you see her grow from a timid young girl to a confident young woman.
Yes, sir.
And one of her big fears is going to this new school and not knowing anybody and being lonely. So No Face is kind of like he comes to this bathhouse, he's just seeking attention. And he wants people to see him and know who he is. Which is why he starts making gold and everything else. He loves the attention he's getting. The difference is that goes to his head. And he kind of like thinks that he's the most popular guy in the world, stuff like that. While Chihiro sticks to her guns and stays true to herself where he didn't. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense to me. And yeah, I think they were trying to, at least looking back at it after I watched it, I think they were trying to explain like the pitfalls of being like that. Just wanting to be seen and going out of your way and not being true to yourself to get attention. It's not good. It's self-destructive in the end.
Yeah, I mean, how many times? Oh, go
ahead.
for it. Oh, I was gonna say,
Okay.
like, how many times do you see it in movies and TV shows and even real life where, like, you know, an outcast gets a little taste of what it's like to be popular and it just goes to their head, you know?
Yes, it's destructive, man. Or just being a people pleaser in general. Because No Face, he was pleasing people just for himself. And that can be draining. I don't think it's going to turn you into a literal monster who eats things, but there's other very very bad things if you go down that road.
Definitely, yeah. And I mean, the reason he turned into a monster is because Chihiro basically was like, nah, fam, I'm not interested.
Yeah,
And that
he
set him
could
off.
not
That set
handle
him off the deep end, dude. And they just started eating people.
She got mad because they was smiling and laughing. It's like, bro.
Were there any like characters or plot points in particular that you liked, Tyler?
So like I really enjoyed like Chihiro, and my favorite characters of the show was Yubaba's dogs.
Oh, the little heads?
Yes, that is her dogs.
The
That
sneak
is her
pit.
dogs. That is my favorite characters of this anime because one of them's just rolling around. They're just making weird noises. I'm pretty sure that something like
They were
that.
great comedic
Yeah,
relief, dude.
I
Dude,
loved it.
They were
So
scary to me. They
no,
were just three little green heads, I think it was, and I was like, "Oh no, this is not good." But
I was just like, bro,
I figured out
these are
they were harmless.
dogs. So yeah,
Yeah,
and
what I was
go
gonna say,
ahead.
one thing they do really well in this show is all the characters are actually based off Japanese mythology.
Really?
Yeah,
Didn't know
every
that. Okay.
single spirit is based off a yokai from Japanese lore. So they do a really cool job of that. Some of them are just kind of like, I don't want to say like exact copies, but like they take things from them. He might have changed the design up a little bit. But my favorite character is the radish spirit with the bucket head and his ass hanging out. That's just fucking a drippy look, dude.
I think this is hard for me. I think my favorite characters were Yubaba. Obvious reason. She's like one of the centerpieces of the story. And I just thought how she treats everybody was hilarious. In real life I would hate that, but I thought it was like kind of funny in the movie. But she did have like a little bit of a code for herself, having to give people jobs if they wanted to work. But me, Haku, the river spirit, was freaking awesome. Him trying to figure out who he was on the sly, and then being so helpful to Chihiro from the get-go. I thought that was really cool because he was like, "Hey, remember." I thought it was a really cool line to say, "Hey, remember, I'm your friend." Even though he couldn't act like that when they went inside of the resort. he let her know and he guided her in the way she needed to go to get back out of there because he was in the same situation. It was friggin' awesome. I really enjoyed his character.
Definitely. And Haku paralleled Chihiro really well because one of the key themes of this movie is to not lose who you are as yourself. And Chihiro never does, but Haku did. But thankfully, Chihiro helps Haku find himself and has him remember that he is a river spirit who was basically brainwashed by Yubaba to be like not a mercenary, but like, you know, the cold-hearted guy, the thief, the backdoor shady shit guy. So it was good to see that at the end.
That was
basically her own personal Ray.
Yeah.
So
that is true. That is very, very true. And like you said, Dan, it was cool to see Chihiro regain her name. You know, and I think that was a lot of symbolism as far as her, you know, figuring out who she is and growing up, and that was like her final steps. Even in the end where she has to pick her parents out of the lineup there, and she says no, they're not here. I don't think that Chihiro would have had enough self-confidence to actually say that at the beginning of the movie. So it was good. She got her name, she got her parents, and she got out. And you know, she was still a little timid once she got back with her parents, but she definitely was a different person. It was really cool to see.
Definitely.
So I got a theory on how she figured that out. Y'all have anything?
The pig part?
Nothing.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, the only thing I can think of is that her like dad had still had his hair, and none of the pigs had his hair. But that's all I can think of.
So I got a theory. So every time we see her go, visit her parents or see her parents, especially the latest time with Haku, all the pigs clearly do not pay her any mind. They just go about eating and just wallowing and just basically doing pig stuff, you know, not looking at her, nothing, just ignoring her existence. Only when she had the little the ball or whatever, the medicine ball or whatever. So this time, if you notice, when she come up there to pick them or whatever, all of them their attention was solely on her. Like they was focused on her, not doing nothing else. They wasn't rooting around. They wasn't doing what pigs do. So I feel like she knew that that's not how pigs acted, and that it was a setup. Is my honest theory. So,
ooh, that's actually pretty solid, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely checks out.
Yeah, because they were being very, very orderly, like you said.
I was wondering about it kind of in my head after it happened. I was like, how does she know? And I got to think about it, and that's what I come up with. It makes sense. So,
yeah. I also thought the animation was pretty good for coming out in 2004.
Pretty good.
Studio
fucking
Ghibli,
God
bro.
tier, dude.
Oh, excuse me. Damn.
Ghibli don't miss, bro.
Yeah, Ghibli don't miss, dude.
That was it was good. It was very, very good.
Like
I was impressed.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you're a fan of anime and you've never had a Studio Ghibli wallpaper, like, come on, man. Like, it's the top tier animation, you know? Like, nobody even hangs with it. I mean, like, the new gen stuff's cool, but it's all CGI. This is all hand drawn, and the landscapes are fucking stunning.
It was pretty beautiful.
Speaking of like the animation scenes and stuff, it felt like most of the time the backgrounds that was drawn on, it looked like it was painted. Did y'all not notice that? It looked actually painted.
I did notice that. Yes, I mentioned it while I was watching. Yeah, they had somebody actually painting some of this stuff. It was cool, man.
And it looked gorgeous. I loved it. I loved that aspect of it. So
yeah, every Ghibli movie there is looks like that, dude. Miyazaki is a fucking legend.
For sure.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, guys, that is a little insight on Spirited Away. This is a movie that we could probably talk about if we really wanted to dive into it for probably about 45 minutes to an hour. But
I think so. Yes.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah. Plus, we want to encourage y'all to go watch this too without like spoiling all the major plot points. So
yes.
Definitely. Yeah. If you're a fan of Disney movies, Disney like touches the heart, like Ghibli touches the soul, dude. Like if you haven't checked out Studio Ghibli movies yet, that's the move to do. But we really appreciate you guys stopping by for Anime Degens episode 8. If you guys want us to watch other Studio Ghibli movies, let us know in the Discord. We'd love to check some more out. And thanks for hanging out, and make sure to stay degenerate.